Their voices fall too far. These three men made a solemn vow. John Barleycorn must die. Okay, I'm good.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I have to say it feels right this year to have Shabbat coming out of Hanukkah into Shabbat. So if you're like me, a little bit feeling sad about that loss of light in terms of Hanukkah ending, we have another kindling of sorts, the kindling of Shabbat, to keep us going and keeping that joy and that radiance alive. And this Shabbat, it's not just the wonder of reaching the end of the week, but it's also Gabe's bar mitzvah this week. So we're excited to welcome someone else into our community as an official adult. No pressure. And we will welcome in Shabbat itself and the Shabbat angels with Shalom Aleichem on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malatei Hasharei, Malatei Hasharei, Malatei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malatei Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Malatei Shalom, Malatei Shalom, Malatei, Malatei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malatei Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Be the Shalom, Malatei Shalom, Malatei Shalom, Malatei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malatei Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu.
Seichem.
Seichem l'Shalom, Malatei Shalom, Malatei, Malatei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malatei Amlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu.
Having welcomed in the Shabbat angels, we will now actually light our Shabbat candles, bringing in more light and radiance. And I'm excited to invite up Gabe together with your parents, Laura and Scott, and your brother, Evan. Come on up with us too. And we'll have you light our candles right over here. It's the blessing is on page 2. Get some help with those matches, too.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, b'tzionu, lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
And I'm going to have you come right up over here by the ark that holds our sacred Torah, which is really going to become yours in a new way tomorrow. Come right on up. Come on. You can stand right in front of the ark with your family around you, facing out. You're going to face there's a lot of instructions, and I know there's a lot of like different directions, and you're so ready for tomorrow with facing the ark, so it's good rehearsing. But in this moment, we're having you face our community because it's our opportunity as a community to bless you, Gabe, together with your family. So Gabe, as you become B-mitzvah, joining Jews of generations past and those to come, we remind you of the loving embrace of your family, your friends, and your community, who stand ready to support you. As you continue to grow and to learn, wherever you journey, may you walk righteous paths. Whenever you speak, may your words be words of wisdom and friendship. Whatever you do, may your hands build and your heart preserve what is good and what is beautiful in our world. May your curiosity inspire others, and your sense of deep clarity and purpose strengthen your communities. May your enthusiasm for learning always be appreciated, and may you teach others how to see the world through the wonder with which you see it. May you find the Torah, the stories, the avodah, the holy work, and the gmilut chasadim, the acts of loving kindness that speak to your heart and your soul. May you continue to know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, and from that sacred place you are connected to all who dwell on earth. And let us all say, Amen. Mazel tov, Gabe. And you all can sit down. And as we get ready to turn to Lecha Dodi, the moment at which we welcome in Shabbat and her personification as a Shabbat bride, I know that for me, sometimes in that moment before opening the door to greet guests, I sometimes need to take a deep breath to just let go of whatever preparation was happening or whatever was going on before that. So let's just take a moment and take a deep breath together. And we'll welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor lezachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shmo echad, Hashem u'tiferet ve'letila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lekuden elcha, Ki mekor habracha, Lerosh mikedem neshucha, Sof maaseh v'machshavat techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 5.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech, kumi uri, 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 shidaberi kevod Adonai, alayich bigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 8. Yamin u'shmol, tifrosi ve'etz Adonai, tarisi hayarish, ve'en parsi, ve'nismecha, ve'nagila. Lecha Dodi בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולת שוכני העם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בשבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בשבת
Please be seated. Having greeted the Shabbat angels and the Shabbat bride, it is now time to greet each other. So turn to each other, whether here or at home. Wish each other a little Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos. Hey, Mom. Hi, Bruno. Hi, Miri.
To be Lori, everybody.
And we will turn together to page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish, marking a transition between our schmoozing and the rest of our service. Page 26.
ויתקדש שמי רבי
Amen.
דעלמד יברח עדותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך וביומך ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבא מבורך לעולם לעלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה בריחו להילמין כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא
ואמרו
Amen.
We rise now in body or in spirit as we turn to page 28 for the Baruch, the call to prayer.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake?
Am I awake?
I prepare.
Am I prepared?
Are you listening?
Are you listening
My prayer.
to my
Can you hear my voice?
Can you hear my
Can you
voice?
understand?
Can you understand?
Am I awake?
Am I awake?
I prepare.
Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed le'olam va'ed Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai lai lai. You may be seated. We read together in the English at the bottom of page 29. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe. yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release your darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. We welcome in the darkness of night and the warmth of God on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechokma poteach she'arim uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem berakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or
Adonai Tzevaot Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Amen.
Page 32 at the bottom. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shemot Malchuto Leolam Vaed
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha derech u'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yedecha v'hayu totafot bein einecha u'kaftam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem. Emet.
Top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We turn the page to page 40 for Mi Chamocha.
kamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, Nehedar v'kodesh, Nora tehilot, oseh pelen. Mi kamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, Nehedar v'kodesh, Nora tehilot, oseh pelen. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Mi kamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, Nehedar v'kodesh, Nora tehilot, oseh pelen. Mi kamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, Nehedar v'kodesh, Nora tehilot, oseh pelen. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai.
Who is like you, Adonai? We hold on to these words of emunah, of faith in Adonai, in some power that's greater than ourselves, great enough to literally part the seas that we sing of in Mi Chamocha, and great enough to make much needed change on this earth. And with that, we offer a prayer for Israel. We gather together in faith and with hope to pray for peace and for the safety of the people of Israel. Help us, O Holy One, and protect us in our hour of need. Touch our hearts, lest they hardened with despair. Guide our thoughts, lest they are overcome with fear. Bring healing to the wounded, strength to those in mourning, courage to those in fear, wisdom to those who lead. Yedid Nefesh, beloved one, reveal yourself and fill the world with your light. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Be quick, God of love, for the time has come. Have mercy upon us, eternal one of peace. And let us say, Amen.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, Hamidenu Shalom. Shomreinu L'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim.
With that beautiful prayer for peace, we reach the central portion of our worship, the Amidah, which begins on page 46. It means standing prayer, so you know what to do. Please rise in body and or spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol V'zocher chastei avot v'imahot U'mevi gula livnei bneihem L'ma'an shemo be'ahava Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayei metim atah Rav lehoshia Mashiv haruach U'morid hagashem Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechayei metim berachamim rabim Tzomech noflim v'rofeh cholim U'matir asurim U'mekayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha ba'gevurot U'midomelach Melech memit u'mechayeh U'matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'marata lechayot me'itim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh ha'metim Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh Kadoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue in private prayer. You may be seated when your prayer is complete.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Tasim Leolam.
One of the beautiful things about Shalom Rav is that we ask not just for peace, but for an abundance of peace. And that is what we wish for those in Israel who are still being held captive. We offer this prayer. Our God, the one who raised Jacob up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captivity by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the children of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue and honor them. And we say together,
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. On page 253, we find the Mishaberach, our prayer for healing, healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the soul. You will see projected on your screen those whom are members and friends and family members of those of us at Temple Shir Tikva. And we ask at this time that if you are holding someone in your heart in need of healing, that you please feel free to say the name of that person either aloud or in your hearts. We take all of them into our hearts with Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imoteinu Mekor HaBracha Le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
On the morning of Thursday, December 15th, 1773, the atmosphere in Boston was tense. The colonists had been deliberating for days. Their anger was palpable and emotions ran high. It was the day before the deadline on which the tea tax that the British had levied on the colonists was due to be paid. 3 ships from the West India Company were docked in the Boston harbor with nearly 50 tons of tea waiting to be unloaded. How could Britain demand taxes from the colonies without allowing them representation in the British Parliament? An estimated 5,000 to 7,000 colonists came from all over Massachusetts. They gathered in the streets at Griffin's Wharf, the Green Dragon Tavern, and the Old South Meeting House. With a midnight deadline to pay the tea tax, there was a sharp division between those who remained loyal to the British and those who felt taxation without representation violated the ideals of the new colonies. What would they do with the enormous quantity of tea sitting on boats in the harbor? They couldn't send the tea back to London. Neither could they permit it to reach land and be taxed. So during the night, some 100 to 200 colonists boarded the 3 ships and dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor. That event marks the first major act of defiance toward British rule over the colonists. The Boston Tea Party showed Great Britain that Americans would not tolerate oppression, and their act rallied American patriots across the 13 colonies to fight for independence. This weekend, we mark the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, a foundational American story leading to the birth of our republic. The Boston Tea Party resembles other stories of origin that have been passed down from generation to generation. And as such, the Boston Tea Party account is as much myth as it is history, for it is a story about people and principles, attitudes and beliefs. When we learned the story as children, we remembered it for its intrigue and drama. We love stories about people with chutzpah. And as adults, we have the opportunity to cast aside some of the myth embedded in this tale and view its message for what it really was: a protest of the few and the weak against the many and the strong. Benjamin Karp, author of Defiance of the Patriots, wrote, "The Boston Tea Party reveals a core tension between two often competing values: democratic protest and law and order. It was principled and nonviolent, carried out by common people who believed virtue was on their side." Sound familiar? It should. This has been the theme of so many events of the year that is almost concluded. And in fact, I would say these values of democratic protest versus law and order has been a leading topic for more than a decade, both here in America and around the world. Professor of American History Sarah Purcell writes, and I quote, "One reason that the Boston Tea Party had such incredible political consequences is that it is an identifiable day in history where people took a series of actions that were not necessarily sanctioned by law to oppose something they believed was unjust, correct or not." As I thought about the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, I could not help but think about its coinciding with Hanukkah this week, and especially as we saw our Chanukkiot fully illuminated last night, with today as the final day of our holidays. The similarities in both form and function should not be lost on us. Both the Tea Party and the story of Hanukkah are grounded in narratives in which the underdogs become the heroes. The commoners prevail over the elite. Both are stories of rebellion, of doing what is right, calling out injustice and discrimination, putting principles over power. Both are stories of young people who cast doubt on the traditions and conventions of the generations before them, the perennial choice we all have between embracing new, innovative ideas or accepting the tired ways of the status quo. Both the Boston Tea Party and the story of the Maccabees teach us lessons about pursuing our ideals, fighting for what is right, and standing up against violations of civil liberties. In an article this past week in the Times of Israel, Tammy Lehman-Wilzig points out that 250 years ago in 1773, the Boston Tea Party likewise coincided with the final day of Hanukkah. An American-born woman who has been living in Israel for more than 40 years, she brings things full circle and adds the state of Israel to our stories of Hanukkah and the Boston Tea Party. Political protest and the fight for religious and national freedom in one's own country are principles that have played a prominent role in modern Israel's agenda, especially over the past 11 months. while certainly somewhat eclipsed by the tragic events of October 7th, we must remember that Israelis participated in more than 30 weeks of consecutive peaceful protest against calls of judicial reform. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis attended rallies and marches, raising their voices in opposition to what they saw was unjust. Layman Wilzig writes, Jews protest. It's part of our DNA. Ever since Abraham argued with God and the children of Israel repeatedly confronted Moses in the desert. As we review the year, examine our own conduct, and take stock of where we are in our pursuit for a better world for our children and grandchildren, let us continue to be the people that argues against injustice and wrestles with God. And in doing so, let us work to make real the prophetic vision of Zechariah, whose words ring out on Hanukkah and every day of the year, that it is not by might and not by power, but by Spirit that we will someday live in peace. Amen.
Yeshikoach.
Thank you. We turn to page 282 and rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, לתקן עולם במלכות שדי. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
The text of the Kaddish may be found on page 294. We think about all those who have lost their lives in the terror attacks in Israel, and we remember those whose yahrzeits, the anniversary of whose deaths, occurs this week. Hannah Borowitz, David Botvin, Debbie Butter, Ida Frankel, Arthur Friedman, Stephen Mark Gainsborough, Cecile Levinson Glass, Rachel Greenberg, Betsy Gross, E. Marvin Henkin, Jacob Hirsch, Frida Noun, Saul Laufer, Harvey Levitt, Ann Nancy Murphy, Beatrice Polanski, Lois Raymond, Sarah Rossman, Solomon Sander, Sarah Sheff, Bennett Solomon, Eva Sorkin, Max Sperling, Charlotte Such, Rosalind Teaguy, Anne Trugman, Melvin Wetter, Elaine Winograd. And we remember one whose family observed the period of Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning. We remember Martin Weiner, father of Gary Weiner. Are there others you would like to add to this list in memory? We join together in Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May God, who brings peace in the heavens above, bring peace to all of us, and especially to those who mourn. And we say together,
Amen.
Amen. It is a pleasure to call back up for Kiddush Gabe Hyman, who will become a B mitzvah in just hours from now. And while you are coming up, I just want to thank Jay-Z for the beautiful music. Always wonderful to hear you together with Cantor Hollis. And thank you to John for enabling us to be seen and heard. Come on up. Okay. All right. Come down here. Doesn't matter.
Come up here. We got
Baruch
words.
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'achava uvratzon, inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu b'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, im kol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim, l'chaim. And we have a challah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Avon. Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom. Good
shalom.
Shabbos.
Yalai la lai lai yalai la lai lai yalai la lai lai yalai lai yalai lai yalai la lai lai yalai la lai lai yalai la lai lai yalai lai yalai lai lai la lai 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 yalai la lai lai yalai la lai lai. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.